What if I told you the most powerful street in the world done that controls trillions, topples governments, and fuels dreams started with a wooden fence and a dirt road? Before it was a symbol of power, before skyscrapers towered into the clouds and billion-dollar deals were struck over coffee and phone calls, Wall Street was just a narrow lane in a young, uncertain city called New Amsterdam. It wasn't even paved. But even then, in the 1600s, it was already becoming something more, something that would, centuries later, define the financial heartbeat of the most powerful nation on earth. Wall Street's journey from a wooden barrier in a Dutch colony to the center of global capitalism is one of ambition, rebellion, greed, innovation, collapse, and resilience. It's a story of how a street just 8 blocks long came to move the economies of the world. It began with a wall. In the 1650s, the Dutch West India Company feared attacks from native tribes and rival European powers. To protect their growing colony, they built a defensive wall made of wood and earth along the northern boundary of the settlement. The path that ran alongside it, that was Wall Street. By 1664, the British had taken control of New Amsterdam, renaming it New York. The wall eventually came down, but the name stuck. And so did the energy. The area became a hub of commerce, where merchants traded goods, auctioned slaves, and laid the foundations of what would one day become American capitalism. In 1792, something happened that would mark the true birth of Wall Street as a financial force. 24 stockbrokers and merchants met beneath a buttonwood tree at 68 Wall Street and signed the Buttonwood Agreement. It was simple. They agreed to trade stocks and bonds among themselves, establishing rules and eliminating auctioneers. That humble act created what would later become the New York Stock Exchange, NYS. At first, trading was informal. Brokers shouted bids in coffee houses, scribbled deals on slips of paper. But by the early 1800s, the financial power of New York began to grow rapidly. Banks sprouted, trading firms multiplied, capital flowed like never before, and Wall Street became the epicenter. During the 19th century, Wall Street helped fund America's Industrial Revolution. Railroads, steel, oil all needed capital. Men like J.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, and John D. Rockefeller didn't just build companies, they built empires. And behind them, Wall Street was the engine, pumping money into ambition and risk. J.P. Morgan, in particular, symbolized the influence Wall Street could wield. In the panic of 1907, when markets collapsed and banks trembled, it wasn't the government that saved the economy. It was Morgan. With his own money and that of his associates, he bailed out major banks and restored confidence. That moment exposed a stunning truth. Wall Street wasn't just powerful, it was more powerful than the government. That power both awed and terrified the public. In 1913, the Federal Reserve System was created to stabilize the banking system and reduce Wall Street's unregulated control. But the genie was already out of the bottle. The more the economy grew, the more Wall Street grew with it. The 1920s were a time of wild speculation. The stock market soared. Ordinary people, for the first time, were investing in stocks. Brokers offered credit freely. Fortunes were made overnight. Wall Street became a symbol of the American dream, the idea that anyone could get rich fast. But that dream turned to nightmare. On the 29th of October, 1929, Black Tuesday, the stock market crashed. Billions of dollars were wiped out in days. People lost everything. Suicides spiked. The Great Depression followed, plunging the world into a decade of economic darkness. And at the center of the storm, Wall Street. The government responded with sweeping reforms. The Glass-Steagall Act separated commercial and investment banking. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, was established in 1934 to regulate the markets. Wall Street's power wasn't broken, but it was now watched. Through the mid-20th century, Wall Street adapted. It played a key role in financing World War II. After the war, as America boomed, so did the markets. The post-war period brought stability, and with it, confidence. Wall Street became respectable again. The 1980s brought a new kind of Wall Street slick, aggressive and unapologetically rich. This was the era of leveraged buyouts, junk bonds, and corporate raiders. Figures like Michael Milken and firms like Drexel Burnham Lambert redefined finance. Greed, said Gordon Gekko in the movie Wall Street, was good, and many believed him. The rise of computers changed everything again. Electronic trading replaced paper. Data moved faster than ever. Globalization opened new markets. Hedge funds emerged, managing billions. The NYSE, once a place of shouted bids, became increasingly digital. Then came the 2008 financial crisis. Wall Street's appetite for risk, especially in the housing market, triggered a collapse that nearly destroyed the global economy. Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. Major banks faced ruin. The government stepped in with massive bailouts. Once again, the question arose, how could one street hold so much power? Reforms followed Dodd-Frank, tighter regulations, more oversight. But Wall Street remained central. It had become too big to fail, too wired into the global system. Today, Wall Street isn't just a place, it's a symbol, a metonym for finance, wealth, risk, and ambition. Its influence reaches into every corner of American life. Your mortgage, your retirement account, your job. And it all started under a buttonwood tree. Wall Street became powerful because it evolved. It adapted. It took advantage of opportunity, of crisis, of change. It has faced scandal, protest, collapse, and still it rises. From that narrow Dutch lane to the global colossus it is today, Wall Street's story is the story of America's relationship with money, with ambition, and with power itself. It's a story still being written, with every trade, every IPO, every crisis, and every boom. And tomorrow, as always, the markets will open again, and Wall Street will be waiting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rise of Wall Street and the power behind the markets, make sure to like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more true stories from history that shaped our world.